Hey, here we go. New intro, new
Yeah,
morning,
yeah.
new
New
month.
new month, new morning, new hopefully this is coming over Facebook Live right now
Yeah,
is what we're hoping.
we're hoping for. If it doesn't, I guess we'll still be, or we're still going to be on Spotify no matter what.
Correct.
So that'll
Correct.
be the nice thing. And then, nice thing about being on Facebook Live, if people start coming in, they can bring us comments, ask us questions, whatever they want to do. So,
Call us stupid, whatever they want to do. We're
hey,
good
whatever
with
they
it.
want to do.
Whatever they want to do. So yeah, so we're kind of excited. Got a guest today. Actually, we got a couple guests today. We got buddy Mitch coming on. We're going to talk a little bit of NFL. And then Nolan wanted to do a town of the day. So we got
Yeah.
a gentleman coming from Valentine, Nebraska. He's going to
Yes.
tell us a little bit about that area. And this was just a town Nolan went on a map and picked out. And so if there is a town out there that you want to learn more about, let us know and we will contact that town and see what's going
There
on.
we go. Hopefully we get some listeners and some viewers down there. I went in and liked their chamber Facebook page. They had a few things in there that were kind of cool. So
Yeah.
it's a big touristy place too as well. They've got some cool rivers, some falls, some big golf courses, I guess, too down there.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I saw on there. So, and then they got like this really cool bridge that I saw. I don't know if you saw that.
I did. That was a nice bridge.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask.
I'm not a big bridge fan, especially at that height.
Correct. No, I'm with you on that. But yeah, it's a little. So we'll see what they have to say. So we're excited about that.
So yeah, our new
ahead.
setup. If you can see on our screen, we've got a little ticker going on the bottom telling us basically what is on the show today. Odds are that's not all the stuff. We'll have some other stuff. We do got to touch on a little baseball because we're getting into the heat of the pennant races coming up here in September. So we'll be talking about that. We've got our NFL predictions. Mitch is going to come on with his. We're going to talk some officiating. Talk a little bit about what he does other than officiate. We're going to bring up the ref shortage as well, and I'm sure that's probably out in your area as well, along with the rest of the United States. So
absolutely, yep. And that's I tried to get a soccer ref on here for today, but unfortunately he had to work. So
okay,
those people that work and try, it's kind of a bad deal.
I think you got to be in shape to be a soccer ref, don't you?
Yeah, I don't think I've really seen.
I'm going to ask Mitch, but I'm pretty sure he's not in shape, and he's a football ref. So I bet.
Well, when you're in football, you just stand on the sideline, right? And
yeah, there you go.
This way,
first down. Yep.
Yeah,
move the chains. Yep.
So,
yeah. Well, let's. What else do we want to talk about?
Well, I just kind of wanted to had my two kids last night. Sammy played in his first varsity football game up in Burnsville, about an hour north of here, and they won 29-18. They were down. He is a defensive end.
Defensive end. That's right.
Yep. And they were down 18-7 starting the fourth quarter and came back and won. Yeah. So they really kicked butt. And then fourth quarter team. And then my youngest daughter, Lily Rose, started her first varsity game last night and got her first yellow card. She kind of bullied Lily. She bullied a gal from Faribault and they gave her a yellow card and one of her teammates kind of stuck up for her. Like that wasn't, and then that gal got a yellow card too. So two of her teammates, her and her teammate got a yellow card but they won the game 5-0 and that was their first win. So,
okay. What was the infraction?
She pretty much ran over the girl. I mean, it was like just ran her over. And so,
well, she's got to learn to move, I guess, huh?
The girl, yeah.
Get out of the way. Lily Rose is coming through.
So and I don't want to. We've had this official before, and Lily has always had problems with official in her soccer career because this certain official doesn't like to call physical games. Wants it played, and
is this the one you tried to bring on this morning?
No. He was so I was sitting next to him and he said, I wouldn't have called that, is what he said.
Oh, okay.
So his daughter plays on Lily's team and he said, I never would have called a yellow card on that. It's not yellow card worthy, but I respect all the officials and they do what they want to do. And if she wants to call it a tight game, I just told Lily on the way home, I was like, next time she's there, you just got to remember you can't get away with as much as you would with somebody else. So
yeah.
which she understood, but she's like, I still don't think I deserve a yellow card. And I'm like, well,
No,
there's that. But hey, so
is
but
what
that's
it
it.
is.
How about you? Kids are in
Well,
school, right? Did they start
Yep.
school yet?
All the kids are in school. Had volleyball last night. We got football tonight. Heading to the Twin Cities. We'll be hooking up possibly on Saturday sometime.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
I was talking with, I seen on Facebook yesterday, a guy had NDSU Bison tickets. I'm thinking, well, that'd be kind of cool to go to NDSU. But so I called him. I'm like, yeah. I said, what time's the game? He said, 2:30. I said, okay, well, I said, I kind of wanted to be in the Twin Cities by then. He goes, well, they're playing at US Bank Stadium. I'm like, that makes it even better.
Yeah.
So the NDSU Bison are going to be at US Bank Stadium tomorrow. So we got some tickets. So I'll be there. Maybe you, who knows? Section 119. We're in the end zone.
Okay. Well, I might have to make it up. I still haven't seen Becky yet. So she went to that football game last night in the cities to watch Sam, and then she didn't get home till late. And I was, you know me, my 8:30.
Did you send her an invite so she can join the podcast and talk about the game last night? Or she probably wouldn't.
She is working right now, so we can't.
Oh,
yeah. So we can't have her.
And them full-time jobs, I tell you, they get in the way of these.
The whole patient stuff, I don't know. Yeah. I don't get it. But well, there you go. Well, how about should we bring on our man Mitch and let's talk a little bit about his two passions in life, work and officiating, and maybe he has others. I don't know. So
there we go.
But all right. Hey, Mitch, how's it going?
Hey there.
Morning,
fellas. Good morning.
All right.
Oh, we've been kind of talking about doing a show with officials. This was a while back, and we thought, well, we'll wait till football season. Now football season's in full swing, and you and I text every once in a while about, hey, where are you at? Stuff like that. And you're all over the place. You're up in the Minot area now. And I guess talk a little bit about what you do up there in the Minot area, and then we can get into the officiating.
Yeah, my career's kind of taken me a little bit of every part of North Dakota here. Up here in Minot right now, I work for so my career, I've been an educator my whole career, and I've been a teacher, a principal, a superintendent. And last year I transitioned out of the one school setting. And what I did is I work for an REA, which is a regional education association. So we support area schools. So we support all the schools in that Northwest area, that Williston, Divide County. So all the way up to that Canadian border. And what I do for them is I'm a school improvement coach. So the state of North Dakota has a list of a list of schools that qualify for a program called Targeted School Improvement or Comprehensive School Improvement. So that takes your schools that are rated with the school accountability data, like student performance, and you get put on the bottom 10% of that list, and you get some money from the state to help improve your school. And a guy like me comes in and helps work with your school improvement team to identify those goals and try to boost scores and student engagement. And so I do that in the area. And I also help schools with accreditation reviews. Every 5 years, every school in North Dakota has to get accredited. Yeah, a team comes in, makes sure that everything's in line with finances, teachers, education, curriculum, and I help prepare schools for that visit statewide. So I get a chance to go, as I've been to East Fairview, North Dakota, which you've never heard of. There's a Fairview, Montana, but there's a East Fairview, North Dakota, and both have an elementary school, but the high school is in Montana. So it's a weird, very unique situation, but I've gone as far east as Valley City. So I cover a pretty large area of the state.
Well, Mitch, you've done a lot of officiating. Obviously, football is probably your main one. You've got some. You do some baseball, basketball. I'm wearing last year's Region 8 baseball tournament shirt that was in Hettinger, and we're friends. We talk off the diamond, off the football field, and when we get on the field, it gets a little bit more intense because the only thing you hear from Coach Dix is, "Where was that pitch? Where was it?" But yeah, I mean, we're going to kind of talk about some of the things you hear out of the stands from coaches. Ref shortage, we're going to talk about that a little bit too, because North Dakota is already seeing it last night with games being moved to Thursday and some games being moved to Saturday. And you had a story before we went on. So let's talk about the ref shortage first off, not only in North Dakota, but probably nationwide.
Yeah. So it's kind of depends on what sport you do. So I umpire baseball, ref football, and I ref basketball, all at the high school level. And basketball right now, we're pretty healthy. I've been in the the Dickinson Association and the Minot Association, and they're both pretty healthy to where we don't have to move games. We got 3 guys every night. But then when you get into football and baseball this spring, if you watch an MLB game, they always have 4 umpires. If you watch a playoff game, they have 6 umpires. Well, the shortage is getting to the point where all across North Dakota, we're doing games with only 1 umpire behind the plate, and you have to call fair, foul, all the way from line to line. You have to call every out at every base, watch tag ups. It's very difficult to do. But I do have to say this, when they realize, holy cow, there's only 1 umpire out there, they kind of keep it muted. They understand that we make mistakes because we're not in the best position. So I do got to say that coaches are fantastic when they see that we're short officials, that at a football game when we normally have 4 or 5 guys. I know I've done a JV game where we only had 2 guys. Well, we had a third guy on the crew, but it was some Yahoo from the crowd named Nolan that came and helped us for a JV game. So he really didn't count as a third official. But yeah,
it was probably one of the better ones out there. I was told.
Yeah. You're in my top 50% of junior high football officials, Nolan.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
But
appreciate it.
But yeah, baseball, we did a lot of 1-man crews, and then football. Last night we saw the shortage. Well, this week it's Labor Day weekend, and a lot of us have families and want to leave for the weekend like other people. And so this weekend we moved 2 of our games that were scheduled for Friday. We moved them to last night. And then we took 4 games today, and we moved 2 up to 5 o'clock and moved 2 back to 8 o'clock so that those crews could do the 5 o'clock game and the 8 o'clock game, drive 20 miles and cruise over there. And hopefully we're hoping not for an overtime in that first game. And so that shortage is out there. Last week I was doing my first white hat game as a 9-man level. So those who don't know, there's usually 5 officials in football, and they all wear black hats with white stripes, except for one guy who has a white hat and he's in charge. So did my first white hat game, and we did 4 guys to Towner, 2 of which were first year officials, 1 being 19 and 1 being 20 years old. So very, very green group, but they did an outstanding job. It helps that one of them's dad is arguably the greatest coach in North Dakota history, and Larry Sandy. So he knows a thing or 2 about football.
Gotcha. So Mitch, I've always heard that the umps, the refs and all that, the shortages is because of the coaches and the parents. Do you think that's the number one reason, or is it like, I remember myself growing up, my youth football games were on Saturday mornings is what they were. And so we always had refs. And then like the high school games were on Friday night and they always had refs. Well, now it's like, just like last night, my daughter plays varsity soccer. My son plays varsity football, and there's games going on at the same time everywhere. So is it that the parents and the coaches are, and I've seen it, I've been part of it. I yelled at a ref once and then I felt terrible afterwards, or is it just a little bit of both? Like there's just so much going on and people have so much going on.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. I think football and baseball are a little bit different monsters. Football, you're working 1, maybe 2 days a week. You're working on a Friday night or a Saturday night. And those are popular nights to spend with your family and do family trips. And with football, since you're only doing 1 game a week, you really got to put a lot of homework in. Like, for example, tonight I'm the game that I'm reffing, and I won't say that since we're Facebook Live. I don't want to have anyone chatting me up out in the stands tonight. But we got group messages with our officials, and just got a whole bunch of videos sent, game tapes of both teams, so that we can review and prepare and be ready for their offenses. So there's a lot of time. I'd say I probably put about 2 or 3 hours a week at least into film prep, getting in the rule book, watching videos on YouTube to officiating videos, and getting better at it. And that's asking a lot for, if you're doing one varsity game a week, you get paid $90 to ride in a car for an hour and a half, get there an hour early, ref a 2-hour game, hour ride back. Not a whole lot for $90. And then with baseball is another monster, I think, because you're so much closer to the crowd. The crowd's right on top of you. The coaches are right on top of you. The players are right there, and everything's so much more personal. In football, if a coach yells at me, odds are the crowd's not hearing it. And in baseball, when a coach yells at me, that tells the crowd hears it, and that tells the crowd, oh, this umpire screwed something up, so now they get on me. And then the coaches are on me, the parents are on us. Well, what do the kids do then? They get on us too. So it just kind of just keeps rolling and rolling. And a lot of the officials I work with, they can narrow it down to one game. They're at the, they're on the rope of whether to continue doing it or not. And then they just have that one game where everything goes wrong, where they know they're bad. They know they missed the calls, and the coaches and the players are letting them know they missed those calls. And it just eats at you, because I will say, as an official, nothing worse is making a call that you second guess that ends up being a pivotal call in the game. And you sit there thinking, boy, did I just cost this 17, 18-year-old group of kids a chance at a state championship?
Sure.
And so that really eats at us.
Yeah.
I know I had a play at the state tournament where I worked the American Legion Class B state tournament this year, and I called an out in that second, and right away I'm just, gosh, did I get that wrong? And the coach, let me know that he did not agree with my call. He did it very professionally, but that just ate at me, because it was a close game. It was only 4 teams left in the tournament, and each one had a chance at a state championship. So that kind of sat in my head, but luckily I was able to talk to another umpire after the game, and, hey, did I get it right? And he said, no, you screwed it up. So even though I got it wrong, it felt good knowing, yes, I got it wrong. The game ended up that play didn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but for the time being, it was a big play. And all those kind of eat at you as an official, and it leads to guys stepping away.
I could see that. I could see like you said, in the football, I don't see fans yelling a whole lot in football, but I've been to basketball games, I've been to baseball games, and they're just peppering the ref or the umpire or whatever. And it's just, you're there to make, you're human. And sometimes there's plays are bang, bang, you don't know, you don't have the replay available, like in the professional world, so it's like, you go with what you thought you saw. And most of the time people are pretty good, and they're upset, and, you just screwed my team. But I mean, it's,
And I would say when fans are honest, the worst part is when fans are honest, and no one can attest to this. There's situations specifically in baseball, or in baseball and football, like baseball, where you might not call a balk because a kid didn't come to a complete set. But you know what? The kid's struggling. The game's 13-5, and he's struggling. He needs a pitch. Or you might give a little bit more out here because the kid's just thrown 7 straight balls. Those coaches understand that, and they know we're going to do that for both teams. If their kid's struggling, no one's probably seen me, give a kid a pitch a couple inches outside, and he knows that was outside. But he's not going to yell at me, because he knows I'm trying to get that pitcher back on track to get the game flowing, and he knows I'm going to do the same for his kid if he's in that situation. But fans don't understand that. With football, they tell us call felonies, not misdemeanors, when we're officiating. So if there's a kid holding and running backs right behind them, and that hold creates the play, that's a felony. But if it's a toss to the right side and the wide receiver on the left has a little hold that has no impact on the play, you don't throw the flag. And sometimes Fans don't understand that. Coaches do, but fans don't.
Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But and that makes sense. But when that hold on the opposite side of the field is called on an 80-yard touchdown run that gets brought back, that's where the frustration boils over. And you mentioned baseball where the fans are on top. There's a fence there, which is nice. Basketball, we've seen videos on Facebook where, I mean, coaches have done it. You've got family that runs out on to the court sometimes and a confrontation with an official. So, I've heard it. I've reffed junior high, JV basketball, and elementary, and even at the elementary level, you're just like, you hear stuff and you're just like, did I seriously just hear that during an elementary boys basketball game on a Saturday morning when I could still be at home with my family?
Yeah. Right.
So it gets frustrating, not only as the official side, but being a broadcaster, I have my headset on a majority of the games that I watch. So that first couple years when Jacob was coming into elementary and junior high, I found myself being a little vocal. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you yelling at the ref? But then you hear all the stuff around you. People feed in on the one guy and all of a sudden he's got a group of 6 guys going, hey, this guy's horrible. Let's get on him all night, which is a bad situation.
Right.
So, when you hear people from the crowd, I remember walking into when I was living down near Hettinger. I was covering all of Hettinger junior high JV football. I was doing about 3 or 4 Hettinger varsity football games. I was doing all their junior high C squad basketball for boys and girls and doing about 6 or 7 varsity. And I was doing all their baseball. So by the end of the year, Hettinger was pretty sick of seeing Mitch Strand at all these games. And I know when I walked in the gym, there was sometimes like when I walk into the gym, you can just hear the whole crowd, like a group of them go, oh. But I realize it's not that they think I'm a bad official. It's just, oh, we got Mitch again. What a surprise.
Yeah.
See, and I always said that too, because when I was doing elementary, junior high, and some JV, I thought I did a job that, I'm sure people even, geez, he missed some calls but I said I never wanted to be, because there's times when I'm sitting there and all of a sudden, while even being as a baseball coach, I'm at a regional tournament. I see the 3 officials walk through and I'm like, oh no, not him again. And I'm like, what are you doing? I mean, but you get that from not only coaches, players. I even noticed my players even said that, like, coach, did you see he was behind the plate today? I'm like, no, I didn't. I'm like, oh, okay. And they're like, oh, that last time he never gave me that outside strike. I'm like, you know what? It's new game. Just go out and throw that strike and see what happens. But so, I mean, it's crazy what fans, coaches, players, I think we probably have it lucky up here in North Dakota, because as you said, we've seen videos down in Texas at football games or in other places, in
bigger cities, games. Just bigger cities.
Gets a little crazy.
Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah, and I think every year's a new year for me. Like I went, I think my first 4 or 5 years umpiring baseball, I had about 5 ejections. 4 of them being from the same team, 3 of them the same person. So, but then I went 4 years with 0 ejections. And then this year I had 4 of them. So it's weird how for 4 or 5 years I had nothing close to an ejectable offense. But this year I had 3 or 4 no brainers, like just thinking, kid, why would you say that? Or why would you do that?
Yeah. So knowing Major League Baseball, Mitch, that, if they argue balls and strikes, they give them very little wiggle room and then they're out. Are you the same? Is like if Dixie here comes out and like, jeepers, Mitch, that pitch was, great. What do you do? Do you let them chat a little bit, or do you, if it's disrespectful, are they gone right away, or what do you?
It all depends. You got to draw a line early. You got to put your foot in the sand and say, hey, this is how far you can take it, coach. And the nice thing with umpiring, you build a camaraderie with a lot of coaches. I can say I probably umpired 50 games that Nolan's been an coach for. So you build a rapport, and it's kind of a two-way street. You know what you can say to that coach without irking them off, but also you can say to a coach, hey, coach, hey, if I missed that, that was my fault. Hey, okay, I got you. I'll keep an eye on that. But there's some coaches you can't say that to, because if you admit that you got something wrong, they're going to run with that and get on you later. But yeah,
and I've had that a few times. I had one in Shiloh. I had one in South Hart or in Belfield. We got a bad call home plate, never got the run. It was a close game. And as I'm walking by, the ump stops me, goes, "Hey, coach, sorry about that. I screwed up." I'm like, "All right, not a problem." I get back to the dugout. I'm like, "Seriously?" I said, "Yeah." So I don't know if it's better that you just, don't say nothing to me at all and say, you know what, after the game, I'll say, "Yeah, remember that call." But, during the game, I'm just like, man, he just cost me a run and it's 3-2. We're behind.
Yeah.
So that really kind of piles on. But I mean, it's nothing that's going to really get heated.
Well, I don't know if I'd ever come out and say, "Hey, coach, by the way, sorry, I missed that." I might approach it as, "Hey, coach, hey, did I get that call?" Like, there's coaches that I know who won't yell at me prior, and I can just go up to them right after a close call. "Hey, coach, did I get that one right?" And if they say, "No, Mitch, he was safe," "Hey, sorry about that. I'll get the next one." So I think it's that way you approach it. But yeah, it depends a lot on what the coaches are saying to you. If it's personal, that's what they really preach in baseball. If they're talking about the zone, they're talking about the zone. If they say, hey, where was that pitch? Hey, come on, be consistent. But when they say your zone is awful, you're a bad umpire.
Okay.
That's when it's personal. That's when it elevates to possible ejection.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
far.
Yeah, the level of play also matters too. I've done some summer league baseball with the college baseball, and I've done junior college baseball. You give a longer rope to those umpire or to those managers than you do maybe a Babe Ruth 19-year-old kid who's coaching a whole bunch of 13 to 15-year-olds. I'm not going to take much lip from a kid, but a guy who's been coaching for 20 years at the college level, I'm going to let him talk to me a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've known Nolan for like 22 years. Never seen the guy get upset at all. Does he get upset or is he?
Yeah, no, there was one play. It was down in Hazen or down in Henninger against Hazen. And it was one of those games where the other team was chirping the head at each other. Both teams were chirping at each other a little bit. It was heated. And that's at that time. And this was years ago. That group of kids kind of had a little rivalry. And there was a play where in baseball, you have to rotate. So there was a runner on first. I was behind home plate. And there was going to be a play at third base on a gapper. So in that situation, the home plate umpire comes up to third. So we got to run full blast wearing shoes that are 5 pounds, 2 to 3 pounds heavy because they're reinforced steel in there so we don't get hurt. We got our gear on, we got a helmet on, and I'm very unathletic, as Nolan mentioned earlier. So I'm sprinting up to third base. I get an awful position. I cannot see the tag. I can't see the hand, but I make an out call. And Nolan's right there at third base, coach. He has a way better view than I do. I probably should have just, before making a call, I should have just asked Nolan, "Hey, did he get there?" Because he saw it a lot better than I did. And I bang him out right away. And Nolan just says, "Mitch, you gotta be kidding me."
It looks like Nolan remembers this because
Nolan never ever said Mitch. He was very cordial and anything, it's balls and strikes. But this was a big play late in the game, a big game, and he was angry. And I could tell that. So all I did is I said, "That's it, coach." And I walked away to the other side of the field. I knew he was hot, and I knew I've never seen that side of Nolan, and I didn't want to see him get ejected. So I just walked away.
Yeah. So I don't think that have got to a point of ejection. I hope not, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's been some where, I've got to a point where I'll walk half like it's a home plate umpire, and there'll be a play that something was missed, and I'll get halfway up the third base line, and I start remembering what I tell my kids: short memory.
Yeah.
And I stop, and I'm like, and of course I'm mumbling to myself, and I turn around, and by the time I get back to the coach's box, I'm probably still a little ticked off, but next pitch goes, all right, hey, here we go. Next batter. So, but it hangs with you. And if you lose that ball game 4-3, I mean, sun comes up the next day. And that's a big thing I tell my kids. It's like, you got to have a short memory, not only in baseball, even as an official, you have to have a short memory to the point of, if I say something to you in the second inning and you're still trying to get back at me in the ninth going, yeah, I'm going to show that coach when he questioned my call in the second, I'm going to bring this guy up here in the ninth inning. So I think anywhere, and that goes just for the game of life, you got to have that short memory and move on.
Yeah. But
I know I had an ejection early in my career, and I was because I started the game upset at that coach already based off of what happened the night before. And I'm not saying I ejected him solely because of that. He said some things, but I know my rope was shorter. Yeah. So I know that I've grown in that to where I feel like I'm better at that short memory myself.
Yeah.
There you go.
Definitely. All right. Well, awesome. What we're going to do, Mitch, we're going to put you on hold here just for a little bit. You got to get your NFL teams prepared, your divisions and all that good stuff. And maybe we'll come back and talk a little bit more officiating, but we've got another guest we're going to bring on, and all the way from Valentine, Nebraska. So we'll bring you back on in a little bit. How about that?
Sounds great, guys.
All right. Well, this is going to be our new feature here, Chad.
Yeah.
So we're going to bring live to the stream. We've got Dean Jacobs. Good morning, Dean.
Good morning.
How we doing?
Doing great. How you guys doing?
We're doing good. Looks like you got a little passenger in your back seat there too, huh?
Yeah. I'm on the road with my 2 dogs.
There you go. Well, I kind of surprised you the other night, didn't I? I'm a buddy of mine here. We're on our 30th episode, and we're trying to do different things every day. We focused on sports right away. We just got done doing some officiating talk with an umpire and trying to do something different. And I thought to myself the other night, I said, let's do a town of the day. So I flipped. Cool. I don't know why I went to Nebraska. I have no idea. Typed in Nebraska, and I'm starting to scroll down, and I see this Valentine just pops out at me. I don't know why. Clicked on it, Googled you, went on the Facebook, and seems like a very interesting town with a lot of history and a lot of fun stuff to do.
You know, it is. It's got a long history. It was kind of wild being settled, but now we're kind of known as a tourist type of a town.
Okay. I just did a quick search yesterday, and both Nolan and myself, not fans of bridges because of the height in that, but I did the quote unquote flyover that was on your website there. Looks amazing. People, can you walk across that, or is it not? Or is it off limits?
Yeah. No, that spans the Niobrara River. That's a designated national wild and scenic river. So. Yeah, it's 150 feet above the river, and it's a 1/4 mile long. So if you don't like heights, not for you.
It kind of made my heart beat when I was just doing the flyover online there. I was like, there's no way I'd be able to walk across that. So
what you're saying is, Chad, we're not going to do a live podcast walking across the bridge?
Well, yeah, I don't think that would. Not for me. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. If I was there, I'd do it for you.
Okay. All right.
So you've done it obviously already. You've walked across that bridge.
Oh yeah, many times.
Okay. I know you about half. That's if you're from Valentine, right?
Well, yeah, and I'm the director for the Valentine Chamber of Commerce. I used to do both jobs. I was Cherry County Tourism and Chamber, so I had to promote all those things there is to do and see in the Valentine area. And that was one of them that I had to do. So, when I was a kid, I used to run across that thing when it was a train trestle.
Oh boy. Yeah. That's
giving me goosebumps sitting there thinking about that.
That was dangerous.
Yeah. The movie Stand By Me comes to mind when you say that.
That's kind of it. There's about a bunch of guys just like that.
Yeah. That's great. I did see, and maybe you don't even have to rent or you can rent an RV there. Is that so? If I was like, I'm not an RV guy, I'm more of a hotel guy, and I would never own an RV. But if I wanted to go camping, I could just go there and rent one, and they'd set it up for me and be ready to go.
They would. I assume you're not a tent guy then, because you can do that in Valentine too. But yeah, we have camper rentals, easy camper rentals in the Valentine area rent a camper, just go out, do your weekend or week or whatever, bring it back, and you're done.
Now, I would camp. That tenting, no, you gotta
Yeah.
have you gotta have some AC in the camper.
Yeah.
No. So
On a day like today, you want AC, man. It's going to be over 100 here.
we're supposed to be upper 90s here. It's kind of a heat wave all across the United States. So
Yeah.
Right.
So that's good.
So you heading out on vacation, are you?
Know what, gentlemen? I'm a brand new grandfather for the first time. I'm going to see my grandchild.
Well,
Awesome.
congratulations.
Hey,
Congrats.
thanks.
Travel a long way, or
Going down to Lincoln, Nebraska.
Okay.
okay.
All
Now,
right.
were you able to be a part of the big volleyball match the other night in Nebraska?
You know, I was not able to be a part of that. I know my brother was there. I had a lot of friends there. What an absolutely amazing spectacle that was.
Yeah.
92,000 fans. I mean, we went to a Nebraska football game against Wisconsin about 6-7 years ago on our way to the Bears Chiefs game, and we happened to see him in town, so we got tickets. And I mean, what an atmosphere just from the football side of it. I couldn't imagine putting that small little volleyball court in the middle of that and adding seats.
Yeah.
92,003 people. Yeah, it was it was a world record. So that tells you something about how big that crowd is and how much Nebraskans care about their sports here in the Nebraska.
Yeah. So I will say my Gophers squeaked one out against the Cornhuskers yesterday. So I was excited about that.
Did see
that was another. Well, congratulations to the Golden Gophers. That was another just a heart-wrenching defeat for Nebraska. Again, we've had way too many of those in the last several years.
I think old Matt Rule is going to bring that team back to dominance. So a couple
Yeah,
of years.
I have faith.
Yep, there you go. So I just wanted to ask you, the Aquifer Ale that's in the Bolo Beer Company, good stuff. I know there's a big aquifer there, so I'm my wife and I will do kind of fun little trips, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm a brewery fan. I like to visit as many breweries as I can, so I'll have to give that one a shot.
Yeah, you get to Valentine, come to Bolo Beer for sure. That Aquifer beer. You know, it's kind of one of their lighter beers, but it'll kind of knock you on your butt too if you have too many of them.
I don't think I've ever had enough, but my wife might she might tell me different, but we'll see. So,
well, I'm 5 hours from there. What are you from, Valentine?
Me?
Chad, yeah.
Oh gosh. I
just looked it up. I'm 5 hours from there.
I'm probably 8 to 9, maybe. I know
really?
Omaha. We went to Omaha a couple years ago. My wife and kids and we went there and just had a blast. So people, they think Nebraska, they think middle of nowhere. Well, there's a lot to do in the middle of nowhere if you really look.
There really is.
Yep.
You know, as you guys probably saw on the website, Valentine's not like any other part of the state. You know,
Right.
it's a whole different world up there with the Niobrara River Valley. Kind of meets the sandhills of Nebraska. You know, the sandhills, that's the largest tract of stabilized sand dunes in the Western Hemisphere. So it's a unique geology there.
Yeah. I was reading that on there. That's pretty cool. I thought that was pretty awesome. So
you guys have a big cook-off coming up September 9th. It's say if I say it right,
Yeah.
the Chiduza cook-off. Is that what it is?
Well, it's a Caduza cook-off. It's named after the creek that actually goes through our park, the Mini Caduza Creek. So it's a Caduza cook-off, September 9th. Yeah, we have a bunch of barbecue going on down there all day. We're going to have getting a couple of bands out of Texas, Born and Bred and the Will Carter Band are coming up to play. So going to be a heck of a party.
And your biggest party probably comes on February 14th, I bet. That's just a guess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Valentine's definitely the heart city come Valentine's Day. So, I mean, we remail thousands and thousands of Valentines that come to Valentine. It's a program we have. You can mail to Cupid's mailbox, and people mail us their Valentines with a postage on it. Then we stamp it with our cachet and mail it on. We have thousands of those come from all over the world.
Wow. That's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Wow, that's really neat. That's really neat.
Cool. Well, this is going to be a feature I think we'll probably do every week. Chad gets to pick next week his city or town, so he doesn't know that yet till now.
Yeah.
He's got homework all next week, but I think I nailed it here, hitting our first town of the day, being Valentine, Nebraska. So
yeah. So check them out.
Very cool, guys. I'm glad you picked us.
Hey, you
Yeah.
bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we liked your Facebook posts and all that stuff. So share us, and hopefully we get some listeners from Valentine, Nebraska.
That sounds great.
Okay.
Well, you have a good trip, Dean.
Yeah, and congrats
All right,
again.
thanks, guys.
Congrats
Yep.
again on becoming a grandpa. That's good
Yep.
stuff. So
Hey, thanks, fellas.
All right.
Pretty
Thanks,
happy
Dean.
guy.
yeah.
All
Take
right.
care.
See ya.
Have a good trip. See ya. All right. So there you go. There's
Yeah,
our
that was pretty cool.
town of the day.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
So,
Good work.
all right. Well, let's bring Mitch back on because he's going to be a part of our next two features, our 6-pack and our NFL preview, basically, right?
Yes.
The divisions and
Yes.
wild
yes.
cards. So what do we want to do first? 6-pack of the NFL?
Well, let's let Mitch decide since he's our guest today. What do you want to talk about first?
Let's go with the 6-pack. I was excited
do the
about
six-
this.
All righty.
So that was kind of Mitch's idea. I sent him a text. I said, "Hey, here's what we do, what we should do." And he says, one hit wonders for, and all right, sounds good. Let's do it. So
Yeah, I'm down for that. So
I
we'll
think
let
we're
you,
probably going to have a few of the same, I'm thinking, but you never know.
We'll see.
never know.
We'll see. So Mitch,
There's a
you
lot
know-
of bears on mine. I don't know why.
that happens.
It does.
That happens. It's one hit wonders, baby.
Yeah. Okay. Well, should I start off number 6?
Sure, you go right ahead, Nolan.
All right. My number 6 guy ran for over 1,000 yards, 15 touchdowns 1 year for the Cincinnati Bengals. And then he hobbled up with some knee injuries and never heard from him again. He brought out the old Ickey shuffle. It was Ickey Woods, kind of a one-season wonder for the Bengals.
Very good. Very good. My number 6 replaced Dan Marino for 6 games a few years ago and then signed a huge contract with our favorite football team, the Detroit Lions. And talking about Scott Mitchell.
Yeah. Oh.
Actually had that one good season. He brought the Lions to 10-6 and then just kind of fell off the face of the earth after that. And then while I was researching it, it said that he actually gained weight. He was up to like 350 pounds is what he was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kind of got out of training a little bit. Huh?
Yeah. Took that fat contract and really made it worthwhile. So
Yeah.
I got Scott Mitchell, my number 6.
All right.
I gotta say, you just took my number 1.
Scott Mitchell?
Yeah, Scott Mitchell. I tell you what, when you dig deeper, the fact that he had such a long career. Yeah, I mean, 11 years, but yet he only had 2 years where his TDs, INTs were positive. And that 95 year, who did he lose to in the playoffs? Do you remember?
Well, I'm guessing the Phillies, or not the Phillies,
Yep.
the Eagles. Sorry.
Blew him out. So that game was a game for the ages. Had a Hail Mary to end the first half. Eagles caught a Hail Mary, 60-yard touchdown. Rodney Peete was our quarterback. So check out some of the names that were on this Eagles roster. Randall Cunningham got hurt. Rodney Peete came in. Future Dolphins legend Jay Fiedler was a backup quarterback. Hall of Famer, all-time reception leader Art Monk was on that team. And all-time bad boy Bill Romanowski.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
there you
the
go.
Eagles just loaded up on veterans, but yeah. So I'll move my list up. My number 6 was my number 7 is Broncos legend who after the TD era kind of just busted out and ran for 1,200 yards and never had another season more than 600. That's Alandis Gary.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yep. I remember him. Yeah, he wasn't around long. Everybody jumped on him for fantasy football and kept him in keeper leagues and never heard from him again. So
Right. So, well, since we're being transparent, my number 1 was Ickey Woods. So thanks a lot, Dex. You stole my number 1.
hey, it's all right. You guys are probably going to take my number 1 here. So
All right. So, well, I'll start number 5, and this is kind of like this guy kind of wrote his fame in actually one game, and that was Timmy Smith, the running back from the Redskins. He had the most rushing yards in the Super Bowl. And then after that, he played like 12 more games and rushed for 500 yards, and that was it. So just kind of that one game wonder is what he was.
There you go. Yeah.
So,
I should do my number 1 so you don't take him, but I'm not going to do it.
yeah.
I'll go. My number 5 is back from 1992, ran for 1,700 yards, had 12 100-yard games, broke Franco Harris's record. Barry Foster.
Oh yeah, yep.
And then after that, mediocre 600, 700 yard seasons. That was about it. He didn't do much after that 1992 season. So Barry Foster, Pittsburgh Steelers.
There you go.
Number 5.
My number 5, for the record, I picked nothing before 1995 because I figured you guys would cover those. So there was a lot of big names that should have been higher that I kind of left because I knew you guys would cover them.
Yeah, we'll take care of the 90.
I got 2014 wide receiver for the Raiders that also played a little quarterback and a little bit of running back and was a college Heisman Trophy candidate, and that's Terrell Pryor. He had 77 catches, 1,000 yards, and never had more than 240 yards after that, and played in the NFL for 8 years.
Yeah, I remember that guy. Yep.
I think I remember picking up Terrell Pryor for I needed a quick replacement because so-and-so wasn't playing, and I picked him up and he scored like a touchdown. If I think it was that. Yeah. I'm trying to remember if that was him or not. But all right, well, let's go to number 4, and Mitch, we'll let you start number 4 since you're
this guy had another really long 14-year career, was a quarterback for the Carolina Panthers in 1999. And that's Steve Berline. He erupted with 4,400 yards, 36 touchdowns. Never threw for more than 17 the rest of his career.
Wow. Gotcha.
All right. Well, he's not on my list. And my next 3, my 4, 3, and 2 are all Bears.
All right.
Because they're one-season wonders. This guy, back in 95, ran for over 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. After that, after his rookie year, he ended up 600 yards in 17 games. Ended up being found in Boulder, Colorado. Ended up shooting himself. Was Rashaan Salam.
Oh yeah,
Right out of college. The kid was a dude. I mean, he came out and had a good first season, and then the Bears offense was the Bears offense.
He's a Buffalo legend.
Yep.
Yeah, he sure was.
They found him in a park, I think, with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So
that's crazy.
That's
crazy. Yeah. But, all right. Well, again, my number 4, this guy was Cowboy, defensive back. Larry Brown had a huge Super Bowl, had a really good year that year with the Cowboys, signed a huge contract with the Raiders, and only 5-year contract, $13 million, and he played 12 games for the Raiders and was cut after that. And little did I know, I don't remember this, but he actually played for the Vikings as well for like a game. They were kind of dinged up at cornerback, and they brought him in, but he never played, but he was on the roster. So, but
there you go,
Larry Brown. So,
all right, so we're up to 3.
We're up to 3, and you're up there, Mr.
All right, I'm up. All right, we're gonna go with another Bear. Took us to the Super Bowl in 2006. Didn't have a monster year, but had one of his best years. Rex Grossman. After that, he decided to try to go to Washington. I think he went to the Texans. I mean, wasn't good for old Rexy. He got his old NFC Championship ring, and that was about his career, I think. So,
you love that guy. God, you love that guy. I love that you love that guy.
Sexy Rexy.
Yeah. So my number 3 is an actual Viking.
What do you mean an actual Viking?
Well, he actually he was a Viking, and he was a Wizinator. So I don't know if that gives you any sort of hint there.
Oh yeah.
So, it was kind of like 2 halves of the season. So, but he rushed for over 1,000 yards. He had 7 TDs, and that was Ontario Smith. Future was looking bright. Everyone was excited. And then he went and got caught with the Wizinator in the airport. And then after that, he was kind of shunned from the NFL. Played up in Canada for a couple of years, but never really amounted to much up there. So that's my number 3.
My number 3, I think I placed him higher because he also had a really big mouth his whole career too. In 2015, Josh Norman for the Panthers had that one huge year, one All-Pro year, and then scored it to a $75 million deal from the Redskins after that, and he's out of the league 2 years later.
Yeah, I remember him. That was good pick, Mitch. So number 2. I guess I'll start with number 2. And this guy's a Chicago Bear.
Oh, wow.
I put William Perry. I mean, the guy was like, You know, he had a pretty long career, but I mean, it was just that 1 year he had a couple rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, the Super Bowl touchdown. Yeah,
Super Bowl touchdown. But did we really hear from him after that? You know,
no. I
research-
love the guy, but then looking back, it still ticks me off that Peyton never scored in that Super Bowl.
yeah,
It
and I
still-
think
it
Peyton,
still hurts me right here. But
yeah, I think Peyton was upset about that as well.
I
you
think
know?
so.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and, yeah, just never really. I don't know. Just one good. He was the flash in the pan, I would say.
Yeah.
That's my number 2.
Well, my number
right.
2 was due to injuries. Would I think had a great career, but had some foot injuries, and that's receiver for the Giants in 2009. Steve Smith had a 1,000-yard year, and then next year is on to a good start. Breaks his foot, one of those Liz Frank fractures that's really hard to come back. 5-year career, he's out of the league.
there you go.
Yeah.
All right. My number 2, 1999, 84 catches, 1,400 yards. That was about all he did for 1 year for the Chicago Bears, Marcus Robinson.
Oh yeah.
After that, he didn't have a lot of catches.
No.
And I don't know if that was maybe a quarterback problem, maybe.
Yeah.
Bears have kind of had a tough time with the quarterback's position, but
Hey, Bob Avellini's don't walk through the door every day.
that's right. That's right. Or Sid Luckman's, yeah.
Yeah.
So I wonder if I should do number 1 so you guys don't take my number 1.
Well, we're on number 1.
I know.
Right?
One of you guys is
Yeah.
going to take him, I have a feeling.
Go
no,
ahead.
Mitch
No,
can't.
Okay,
Okay.
my number one was Icky Woods. I mean, came out,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
had a
Okay.
had a great rookie season, Icky shuffle, all that stuff, and then hurt his knee and kind of down the hill after that. So
well, my number 1 started the Madden curse, if that's a clue. Be Peyton Hillis.
Oh,
yeah. Yep.
Cleveland Browns had 1,200 yards, had
Yep.
500 yards receiving. Huge year. He's going to be the next Mike Allstott, and just bounced around after that.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. So my number 1, he had the play of the year in the Super Bowl. Caught a 5-yard touchdown pass and then caught a 32-yard catch that trapped it to his helmet.
And they call him David Tyree.
David Tyree. Yep. The 1-game wonder.
Yeah.
But hey, he's got a Super Bowl ring to show for it. He beat
Yeah, he
Brady.
does.
So
Yeah.
He's got one more game than us.
Yeah.
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 He does. That he
Exactly.
does.
All right. So there's a 6-pack.
Yeah, and I had an honorable mention. It was my church softball league when I hit those 17 dingers. Pretty good season there. And then the next year,
Was that when steroids started getting big, or was
I did do PEDs that year, but
Or
it was
the
just more of
Dean
like I'd have a couple of beers before the game. It really kind
There
of
you go.
loosened me up, and then
and you had the illegal DeMarini bats probably when they
Well,
first came out?
no. That was when I had speed, so they were inside the Parkers, but.
See, when I hit my home run, I hit one in Beulah. It was a wood bat. No, it wasn't. It was in a DeMarini.
Was it?
All
Okay.
of our big guys had these new bats, and I was the leadoff hitter because I was like hitting it the right field, left field, base hit, and I got up. I'm like, let me use that bat. So I get up there and first pitch right down the heart of the plate. I must have hit the biggest sweet spot on that thing, and it went out. And I'm just like, I wonder why you guys are hitting the home run. Of course, I tried it the rest of the year, and I don't even think I got it out of the infield. But
Yeah.
I think there was the one home run used up by me. But yeah. So yeah, so there's our 6-pack. Let's we're running long here, so we better get into our divisions, huh?
Yeah. So
I
do you wanna
brought
start
this. I figured Mitch would like this because I get to poke Mitch a little bit today because he doesn't like. I've already kind of previewed a little bit to him that one of my teams that doesn't make the playoffs, and he's a little irritated with me, I think, on it. But
we'll get to that. So let's start with the
he's just
AFC.
sitting there going,
He's ready to go already. So
Yeah,
let's
he's
start with
ready.
the AFC.
okay,
How do you want to do this? Like, we're just going to do division champs? Is that what we're going to do? And then who's going to?
yeah, we'll start AFC East. I got the Bills.
I got the Bills.
I had
All
the
right.
Bills.
AFC North.
I took the Steelers. I think Kenny Pickett's going to come through sophomore year, and really, Tomlin's always got tough teams. I think it's going to be the Steelers.
I did take Pittsburgh as well, believe it or not. So
And I took the Ravens. I think Lamar Jackson comes back angry.
Okay.
Okay, AFC South, pretty crappy division.
I flipped a coin and Jacksonville won.
Yeah, Jacksonville for me.
I didn't really want to pick anyone, so I went with Tannehill because I love him. So I'm picking
there
the
you go.
Titans.
I
There you go.
coin flipped the Titans in Jacksonville is what I did. But yeah,
There you go. Well, I don't think we even have to mention AFC West, right? We're all good on the Chiefs.
I think the
Yeah.
Chiefs will win that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Wild card. This is where it gets kind of interesting.
You want me to name my first? Like I just put 3 down. You want
Okay,
me to name
name
all
your first
3?
team and we'll yep.
Okay. First
However you
team,
want to do it.
I think first team. This doesn't mean they'll be like the first wild card or whatever, but I think the Dolphins are going to make the wild card.
Yep, I got Miami as a wild card as well.
Okay.
I do not.
Oh,
I got
all right.
them struggling this year, high expectations, and Tua's going to continue getting hurt.
Okay.
Good point.
So you want to give us a number one of your picks for the wild card?
I got a surprise pick. I got Denver Broncos turning this ship around fast and surprising some people.
Okay.
Weak schedule. I think they're going to make a run.
Gotcha.
I had Denver picked and I got them scribbled out because I'm gonna ride the Aaron Rodgers train into the playoffs, but that's about as far as it's gonna go.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Jets are gonna win 9 games. They're gonna make the playoffs.
Okay. I took the Ravens, and this was for me. It was the Ravens Chargers. I know Nolan doesn't like the Chargers. He's just not a fan of, and I was thinking the Broncos as well, but I think the Ravens will get in there.
Yeah, and I got the Brownies going into playoffs, getting smoked,
sweet.
but they're gonna get there.
All right. Then my last one, I picked the Bengals to make it in there. I think Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and all those guys. I think they're a pretty good team, so I think they will make the wild card.
I got them too.
Okay. I did have Cincinnati. I scribbled them off because I think Burrow's going to get hurt, and when Burrow's not in there, that team is going to falter. And I had Denver in there, cross them out, and I kept the Chargers in there. I don't know why.
Wow.
But I got the Chargers in there and making the wild card.
So in less than 6 letters, Nolan, why is the Jets going to make the playoffs?
In
Or
less
6
than
words.
6
6 words.
letters.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Why are they going to make it?
Yep.
Adam Lazard, Delvin Cook, Aaron Rodgers. Actually, it's probably going to be more on defense too, but their defense is pretty stout.
Yeah, fair enough.
But now, Mitch, you mentioned Mac Jones.
Yeah, I was right away picking Patriots to win their division as a surprise, but then you look at their schedule; they got the hardest schedule right now in the NFL.
Right.
I just think you can never doubt Bill Belichick.
No, I'm with you on that. And that they crossed my mind, but I'm just like, I'm not sold on Mac, so we'll see what happens. But all righty. Well, let's head over to the NFC, and maybe we shouldn't start with the East, but unless you want, Nolan.
Yeah, let's go with the East.
You want to start with the East?
I did a lot of research in this division. I've really dissected the schedules, and there was a trade earlier this week that happened that kind of rocked the NFC East and got the Dallas Cowboys feeling like they're America's team again. And I think Dak's going to roll. I think he's going to have a good season, and I'm picking Dallas to win the NFC East.
So why? So then, what does the trade mean then?
Well, Lance is there. Lance will be one of those guys that'll come in when they're up 42-10, come out and just run the offense. He's going to be ready if Dak goes down. All
right.
But
well,
I will say this. Well, I'm not going to mention anything more about Trey Lance.
Okay, gotcha. I picked the Eagles. I think they're going to be good. I think with their defense, Mitch, hold up. I think they've got some new players. They lost a few, and now they got some new ones. But
linebackers are unproven. Linebackers are unproven, but that's kind of like the running back. You don't need a whole lot of experience. And I got the Birds winning. I got them. They're too deep across the board.
Yeah, I would agree. So NFC North, I picked the Vikings, not just because I like them, but I just think they're the best team that's there. I think the Lions will probably be pretty good. I think the Bears will be pretty good. I think the Packers are going to find out that Jordan Love, they're not going to love Jordan Love. That's just my thoughts.
There's a lot of hype
that
around
kind of
it, though.
Yeah. Kind of mirrors mine. I got the Bears winning, but in a log jam with the Lions, Vikings all at the top, and the Packers not winning a game in the division and winning less than 5 this year.
Okay. Yep.
You got the Bears as division champs. Is that what you said?
Yes, I do. Please,
Say
my
what?
host.
I didn't hear it again, Mitch. Who's division champ?
Yeah,
Chicago
I
Bears?
got the Chicago Bears matching up with the Eagles again in the playoffs, and this time we're going to have a triple doink.
No.
Woo.
Yeah, with your kicker.
Yeah.
With your kicker.
Woo.
Not ours. I'm going with the Vikings to win the division.
Okay. Gotcha. So NFC South, I got it again. I didn't know what to do, so I just picked the Saints. Just kind of I was thinking maybe Carolina, but Nolan doesn't think Carolina is going to be good because they want the number 1 pick for his Bears, and so. But I went with the Saints.
Yeah, I went with Saints as well. That division is, I'm cheering for Carolina to lose every game because the Bears have their first round pick. So I'm hoping Carolina goes 0-17 and gets us the number 1 pick overall again.
Well, you're not going to like my pick, Nolan.
He's
I picked
going
the Panthers.
Attaboy.
Start the year 5-5. Young Bryce Young has a come to Jesus moment meeting with the team, and they go 7-0 to finish the year.
Wow. This year's Detroit Lions, huh?
Yeah, I got them. I'm going to ride that gravy train all the way to the MC championship.
All right.
All right.
So you're saying they're going to start off 5-5?
5-5, and then they're going to turn it around with a huge win against the Titans, and then they end with the Bucks, Saints, Falcons, Packers, Jags, Bucks. Those are all winnable games.
Very winnable. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. So in the West, I kind of thought maybe one team, but then I just stuck with the 49ers. I think their defense is going to be too good. So I'm
going to go San Fran.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, me too.
My wild card, I went with Nolan's favorite team. I think the Bears are going to make it.
I went with the Bears too. They're going to be
they're going to sneak in.
They'll sneak in at 9-8.
Yep.
Yeah. My first team, I had the Cowboys. Nolan Adam as winning the division. I got them as a wild card.
Gotcha. I got the Giants as another wild card as well. I think with Daniel Jones and Saquon and all that, I think they're going to continue on the success that they had last year. So that's my another wild card team for me.
Yep. I got Giants as well.
Yeah. I hate to say it. I got the Vikings. I think they're going to find a way. Cousins is going to work his way into one more big deal. And then fall off the edge of the earth.
There you go. And then
he's going to be a 7-season wonder for the Vikings.
There you go. Again, my final
forget about him.
Yeah, my final wild card team, and I think they could possibly win it all if this guy can repeat what he did last year, is the Seahawks. Because I think Pete Carroll really knows how to coach a team, and I think if God, his name is escaping me. Gino. If he can put a season together like he did last year, they will. They'll be a tough out. So
I got Seattle as well.
Yeah. We're pretty even on the.
Well,
on the
NFC. I think there's really only 7-8 teams in the NFC that actually look decent.
Yeah.
I'm surprised none of you guys picked the Detroit Lions to win the division or be a wild card.
I had them before I heard about the contract. I had them before I heard about the extension, and that gave me. I lost all faith in the Lions once I heard the Vikings sign Hawkinson, and I'm like thinking, how do the Lions let them get away?
Yeah. I think they paid too much to TJ, but other than that, I go back to their coach. When your coach says we need to kind of calm expectations, that's telling me the coach is saying, hey, I don't think we're the greatest. We could be good. I mean, but I don't know. I just, those players, coaches, they never really do they never like win, do they? I mean, is the Eagles coach, is he a players coach, or is he more of a like no nonsense guy?
He's a players coach. He's famous for his first year doing that whole speech with growing flowers and the roots got to grow, and got a lot of flack from Philadelphia media, but the players rallied around him and they love him. He's the guy that does paper, rock, scissors in the hallway. He wants to compete all the time.
But you don't really see him in the news a lot. You know what I mean? Like where Dan Campbell's like, we're going to kick their ass, or whatever. I mean, he's not that type of and that's, to me, those boisterous guys are like, I don't know. They just never seem to win. That's just me. Why didn't you pick them, Nolan?
Because they're Detroit.
Right. Lions gonna lion. Right?
Yeah. No, it's kind of like Cleveland. When they started getting some veterans and that, it's like Cleveland's Cleveland. I mean, when you got a history, I mean, I hate to say it, but every once in a while Chicago wins the division and gets into the playoffs. But sometimes you think, we got to get something to get over the hump of, do you have the right coach? Do you have the right coordinators? This is the first year in a long time that I think we've stuck with the same head coach, same offensive coordinator. I don't know how many offensive coordinators we've had for Cutler, all those guys that have played every year. They got to learn a new system, and that don't help them at all. So you get a guy that's young, sitting now in his second year, third year with an offensive coordinator, same coach, see what happens.
So we got a Facebook from my buddy Mike. He says, too much organizational culture to overcome in Detroit. That's what he put on our Facebook feed. And yeah, I would agree. So
they haven't recovered from the Matt Millen era yet in that.
No, that was a dark era there.
We love that.
But even back then, I mean, even as a Viking and a Bears or a Packer fan, you never really even worried about Detroit. No. And it's the same thing. It's like you went for those 20 years going, why does Detroit play on Thanksgiving every Thanksgiving? Why wouldn't you put those top teams in there? But I know it's a tradition. But it's always nice when you play them on Thanksgiving and you beat them. It's always a fun time.
Yeah, for sure.
I went to Minnesota. I'm trying to think how many years ago that was for Thanksgiving with my aunt family. There's about 20 family members around the table. Just happened to be Bears Vikings on Thanksgiving. And Jacob and I were the only two Bears fans in the house. And I think Vikings scored first. I mean, and they let us have it. I mean, I'm like, oh man, it's going to be a long holiday. We ended up coming back winning, and they were pretty quiet. Pretty much had to leave early from the Thanksgiving holiday. But yeah, this season's going to be fun.
I think after that NFC Championship game against the Eagles, Vikings fans have learned to not get too excited about scoring first in a big game and, stay a little quiet, a little humble.
Yeah. Yeah, but you Eagle fans are pretty mean, I heard. Pretty rude.
Yeah, you throw stuff at Santa Claus and throwing snowballs at poor Santa. He didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, for the longest time they were known as they had Bird Court, where they were the only stadium in professional sports history with a jail where you have the first appearance.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Chad was a witness to when we went to the Bears Vikings on a Monday night. I wore my Urlacher and he wore his Viking jersey. We were walking in. I mean, even after we won, I was still just like, people still screaming at me. It was a scary moment in Minnesota. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, for crying out loud. The only thing I heard was one of the security guards say, "Hey, I like that Bears jersey." Is what he said.
Oh, you remember those two drunk big guys that were bigger than both of us put together? Your team still sucks. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I was in awe just being down on the field and by all those big, huge dudes. That was crazy. That was pretty neat experience.
I've been to about 7 Eagles games, and I honestly, you hear the reputation. I firsthand have not seen anything that really goes to the extreme. It's pretty mellow out there. I think as long as you treat them with respect, they're going to treat you with respect too. They know sports.
Yeah, that's everybody in general. I don't know if you've ever watched Parking Wars, but they would do it in Philadelphia. My wife loves that show on A&E. If they're fans or anything like the people that park in Philadelphia, I don't know if I'd want to go to a game there or not wearing an opposite team jersey, just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Mitch had a story a couple weeks ago, and we've all been to professional sports games. Every once in a while we see something cool, something that it makes history. Mine was we went to the Dodgers Phillies, and I think I mentioned it earlier in the podcast a long time, quite a few episodes ago, but took my boys out to the Dodgers Phillies for a 3-game series and saw a back-to-back home runs that you only see that on ESPN. Mitch he decides to pull a game out of his hat and goes out to see the Phillies earlier this week or earlier this month and comes away with a gem.
Yeah. Got to see Michael Lorenzen in his first start throw a no-hitter. And I actually picked that game because I was trying to get to watch Aaron Nola pitch. And when I bought the tickets and then we traded for Lorenzen and went from a 5-man rotation to a 6-man rotation. And that put Lorenzen into that spot. And originally I was bummed. I was like, this dude's a flash in the pan. He's had one good year. He's probably going to just be the next Joe Blanton for us and do absolutely nothing for us. And goes out and throws a no-hitter wearing Vans. That's all they want to talk about on ESPN. He's wearing Vans shoes, throwing no-hitters. And it was a great experience. My fiance, Brittany, came out, and it's her first ever professional sports game experience at age 31. And so I've tempered her expectations. I've told her, you're not going to see a no-hitter every time we go out here.
Hey, you never know. She might be that lucky charm, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. But that definitely got her blood pumping. We were watching Bryce Harper hit his 300th, and she just looks at me. We should be there. We need to go back out there. So we're already talking. If they make an October run, maybe we'll find a way to sneak out to Philadelphia and try to catch a playoff game.
There you go. I don't see that happening, no, Mitch.
Well, I did say it would have to be a NLCS, not a wild card game.
Yeah. Because the wild card is.
The emotion, last year they had that one against the Cardinals, but really that game against the Braves where Rhys Hoskins bat slams after a big home run. That's a moment you'd love to be there for.
Yeah, you better go before the NLCS. You probably won't see him.
Yeah, I expect the same actually too. But hey, gotta have high hopes, like Harry Callis says.
There you go. Well, heck, we got to pick one more thing, guys. We got a big Thursday night game coming up.
Oh yeah. I got
Lions
Chiefs
at the Chiefs.
Chiefs
by 40.
I got Chiefs 42-10.
I don't remember what I called it, but I know that they were going to win it pretty easily.
Yeah,
pretty easily.
So it's going to be an uneventful Thursday night, but then you never know. Who knows? We could wake up Friday morning if Detroit decides to pull off a Detroit miracle.
Yeah. Jared Goff throws for 450 yards.
Oh, man.
So they win their first game, they're Super Bowl bound, and then they Lion, and then they lose their next 8.
Yeah.
So that could happen too. Just remember
they lose 6 games in the division. So
yeah, there you go. There you go. So, all right.
Well, first one. Yeah. Thanks, Mitch, for coming on. We appreciate it. Good luck for the rest of the football season. Take care of the hammies. And your Achilles. Don't be blowing any of that out.
Yeah.
A smart man, Kurt Michelson, taught me to stretch before every game. So I take care of that.
But it's kind of funny. You guys make sure you're doing it. I always like those basketball refs that come out and 3 minutes before the game, all of a sudden they're over on the sides or stretching out. I'm like, you might want to have done that like back in the locker room when you were run some sprints, but kind of funny.
There you go. So, all right, Mitch, we appreciate you coming on, bud.
Thanks, fellas.
Yeah.
Hey, you bet. See you later, Mitch. All right. So there you have it.
Yeah. Cool. So hopefully this worked out.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty good. We had,
and of course, we're not in prime time, so we only had a few people on Facebook Live. But
some people do work during the day. So
we do a nighttime one. We might have more people listening, but
we might. Something we can talk about down the road. But I know you're busy with your football games coming up and all your broadcasts and all that stuff. So
yep. But I know we have been talking about doing 2 a week.
Yep.
So we'll
Kinda
see how
doing
that
a-
works out. And
Doing like a Tuesday night one just to kind of recap the weekend in football and all that sort of thing.
yep.
And
Or we do Monday night before the Monday Night Football game.
we could do that as well. We could do
Because
that as
Tuesdays
well.
are usually sports games because you'll probably have soccer on Tuesdays, won't you?
Yeah. So, but it's only like a 7-week season. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. But all right, buddy.
All
Well,
right.
let's see how this works, and hopefully we can get it up onto Spotify as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Good luck on that. Yeah.
Crossing out
Hour
fingers. 15.
15. We appreciate everybody that came in and the people that are listening now
Yeah.
that aren't live. We're going to be doing this every Friday. We're on episode 30 right now. So,
Episode 30. Japers.
Yep.
Very
so
good.
we'll talk next week.
Sounds good, buddy.
Okay.
Chat
Thanks,
soon.
Chad.
Yep.